One question, asked the right way, can make a woman think of you for a moment. But ask a question that gently brushes against her hidden desires, and she might end her night with your name on her mind. Not all questions are the same. Some entertain, some build connection. But a rare few create a quiet pull, a tension she can't quite explain. These are the kinds of questions that don't sound romantic, yet her body pauses for a second. Her mind stirs, and a silent curiosity begins, one where you are at the center. These aren't tricks, they're signals, subtle psychological cues, used by men who are grounded, self-aware, and intentional. Today, we'll explore 7 such questions. They don't chase, they don't pressure, they simply plant a seed. And once that seed is planted, your presence starts to echo in her imagination. Let's begin. 1. What would you do right now if nothing could be judged? This question is a subtle spark. It doesn't scream for attention, it whispers. It makes her pause. For a moment, she has to imagine freedom. Not the kind where she runs away to another country. The kind where she can be impulsive, honest, maybe even a little wild, without anyone watching. Most conversations women have are wrapped in expectations. They're used to being careful about how they're seen, how they respond, how they're labeled. But when you ask her what she'd do if there were no consequences, no judgment, no eyes on her, it unlocks something raw. She might laugh it off at first. She might say something light like, "I'd eat an entire cake." But linger for a moment. Hold your gaze. Give her space. Suddenly she starts thinking deeper. Maybe it's not cake. Maybe it's dancing barefoot in the rain. Maybe it's texting someone she's never dared to text before. Maybe it's you. You're not asking her to reveal anything scandalous. You're asking her to touch a part of herself that doesn't always get a voice. That inner rebel. That secret impulse. And when she does, she associates that emotional freedom with your presence. You didn't make her feel exposed. You made her feel safe in her wildness. That's rare. That's powerful. And it lingers. 2. When was the last time you felt completely understood? This question bypasses surface-level charm. It pierces gently, like a soft knock on a hidden door. You're not asking for facts. You're inviting her to revisit a rare emotional moment. And in doing so, you separate yourself from every man who just wants her attention. You're asking about connection, not validation. Most people walk around feeling partially seen. They share edited versions of themselves. They wear masks, not because they want to deceive, but because being misunderstood is exhausting. When you ask her this question, you're telling her one thing: I want to understand you for real. Now, she might smile politely and give you a vague answer at first. That's normal. But something subtle happens after that. Her mind begins scanning her past. Maybe she remembers a friend who once just got her. Maybe she remembers a childhood moment when her mother held her hand during a storm and no words were needed. Or maybe, disturbingly, she realizes she can't remember the last time. And that's when you become different. Because now, she's not just thinking about her past. She's asking herself, could I feel understood with him? That's not a conscious decision. It's a feeling that grows in the background. Quiet, warm, and magnetic. This question builds something deeper than attraction. It builds emotional intimacy. And that's the kind of intimacy women crave. Not just a man who listens, but one who listens in a way that makes her feel less alone in the world. If you can be that man, without forcing it, without rushing it, she won't just think about you. She'll feel you, long after the conversation ends. 3. What scares you the most about getting everything you want? This isn't a question most people are prepared for. It doesn't come with an easy, polished answer. That's the point. It disarms her, not by challenging her confidence, but by making her pause and confront something few ever ask. What happens after the dream comes true? At first, she might laugh nervously. Maybe she says, "Nothing, I'd love to have everything I want." But give it a moment. Let the silence hang there, comfortably. Because the real answer, the one she hasn't said out loud, will start to surface. She'll begin to think, What if achieving her dreams isolates her? What if success doesn't feel the way she hoped? What if deep down, she fears it still won't be enough? You see, most conversations operate on the surface. Likes, dislikes, routines, weekend plans. But this question? It dives into her inner architecture. It touches on her ambition, her secret doubts, the conflict between desire and fear. When you ask this, you're not playing games. You're inviting her to be vulnerable without judgment. This is where chemistry transforms into depth. Because now, she's not thinking about your haircut or your smile. She's noticing how you make her feel seen, even in places she usually hides. That creates trust. And trust, especially emotional trust, is the foundation of powerful attraction. The truth is, everyone has a shadow side to their dreams. Maybe she fears success will change her. Maybe she worries it'll expose parts of her she's not ready to face. And maybe, just maybe, she's afraid she'll still feel empty even after she wins. And now you've given her space to share that. Not to solve it, not to fix it, but just to feel safe saying it out loud. That's powerful, because you've gone from being an interesting man to a meaningful one. And that shift is unforgettable. 4. What's something you wish people would stop assuming about you? This question feels like a breath of fresh air for someone who's tired of being misunderstood. Most women, especially those who are beautiful, successful, or confident, walk through a world filled with assumptions. People project onto them. They think they know her story. But you're giving her a chance to rewrite that narrative in her own voice. She might smile, maybe even raise an eyebrow. But underneath that expression, something stirs. Relief. Because whether she's seen as too independent, too soft, too guarded, or too emotional, she's been put into boxes her whole life. And now, you've just opened the lid and said, "Tell me who you really are." This question shows emotional intelligence. It shows that you're not just interested in who she presents to the world, you want to know the part she hides from it. And that disarms her walls more than compliments ever could. You're signaling something very few men ever do. I see you're more than what meets the eye. Don't interrupt her when she answers. Let her speak it all. Because what she reveals here will be real. Maybe she wishes people would stop assuming she's happy all the time just because she's smiling. Or that she's tough just because she doesn't cry in public. Maybe she wishes people would stop seeing her beauty before they see her intellect. These are not surface-level concerns. These are the quiet battles she fights alone. Until now, you've just become the man who doesn't assume, who asks, who listens. And the more she speaks, the more she feels safe unfolding in your presence. That's not flirting, that's bonding. That's the beginning of emotional gravity, the force that pulls her closer, not because of your charm, but because of your depth. This isn't about being impressive, it's about being interested. And when you show her that you don't want the version of her the world created, you want the one she built herself, she won't forget that. Because that kind of connection is rare. And the man who creates it, he stands apart from everyone else. 5. When do you feel the most at peace with yourself? This question is like stepping through a secret door into her sanctuary, the quiet place she retreats to when the world gets too loud. Most conversations skim the surface. They orbit around favorites, fun, or flirtation. But this question, it drops straight into the soul. You're not just asking what she enjoys. You're asking when she feels whole, without pressure, without performance, without needing to impress. That's profound. That's intimate. And for many women, it's the kind of question they've always wished someone would ask, but no one ever does. She might pause, caught off guard by the gentleness of it. Then she'll start speaking. Maybe it's when she's walking by the ocean, her thoughts finally quiet. Or when she's journaling in her room with soft music playing, feeling like her true self. Maybe it's when she's laughing with her sister, or watching the sunrise alone with a cup of coffee. Whatever it is, you're getting a glimpse into the version of her that the world rarely sees. That moment, when she describes it to you, is sacred. Don't fill the silence. Don't make it about you. Just listen. Because what she's revealing is not just a detail about her life, it's a map to her soul. And by giving her space to share it, you're telling her, your peace matters to me, your inner world matters to me. That alone is magnetic. Most men never think to ask questions like this. They're too busy trying to impress, perform, or take control of the conversation. But you're doing something different. You're helping her reconnect with herself. And in doing so, you become associated with that peace, that safety, that grounding. The more she talks about when she feels most at peace, the more she feels at peace with you. Because you're not just another guy. You're the one who sees her, not just for what she looks like or what she does, but for what she feels when no one else is watching. And that's unforgettable. 6. What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet? Now you're tapping into the part of her that dreams big, that still has unspoken hopes tucked away in the corners of her heart. Most conversations don't go here. They stay grounded in the now. What do you do? What are you watching? What's your weekend plan? But this question, it lifts her into the future. And more importantly, it reveals who she truly wants to become. When you ask this, you're saying, I care about the parts of you that haven't bloomed yet. You're not just interested in who she is today, you're fascinated by who she's still becoming. And that subtle message? It's rare. It's beautiful. It makes you stand out without even trying. Her answer might be small or massive. Maybe she's always wanted to travel alone across Europe. Maybe she's dreamed of writing a book, but never found the courage. Maybe she wants to start her own business, or live in a cabin in the woods for a year. Or maybe, quietly, she just wants to find the kind of love that feels real and safe. Whatever it is, you'll notice something happen when she answers. Her eyes might light up, or her voice may tremble just a little. Because she's revealing a piece of herself that's still raw, still uncertain, still alive. That's not just connection. That's emotional intimacy. And here's the secret. When someone shares a dream with you, even if just once, you become linked to that dream. You become a part of it. So if you respond with genuine encouragement, that's incredible. What stopped you so far? Or, you should totally go for that. You become the voice of belief in her life. And that's powerful. Because we all crave someone who sees what we could be, not just what we are now. When you ask this question, you're not just flirting. You're holding space for her future. You're giving her permission to hope, to imagine, to grow. And in a world that constantly tells her to shrink or settle, that kind of space is irresistible. 7. What do you wish more people understood about you? Now we're entering sacred territory. This question isn't casual, it's brave. It gently invites her to peel back the mask she wears for the world. And whether she admits it or not, every woman, every person, longs to be seen for who they really are beneath the surface. We all have a story that doesn't quite fit into the boxes society tries to squeeze us into. Maybe she's always been labeled the strong one, so no one ever checks in on her. Maybe she's funny and charming in groups, but secretly battles anxiety or self-doubt. Maybe she's successful in her career, but people assume that means she doesn't want love or softness or a family. This question opens a door to all of that. It says, I know you're more than what people assume. It says, I'm listening for what's real. And when she answers, you'll hear something few people ever take the time to hear. Her hidden truths, her deeper layers, her misunderstood strengths and quiet vulnerabilities. Sometimes she might laugh it off at first, say something playful, but if you wait, if you just pause and stay present, that's when the real answer often comes out. And when it does, treat it like gold, because that's what it is. And here's what most men never realize. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, when she senses that you're not going to judge her, or fix her, or run from her complexity, her entire demeanor changes. She becomes softer, more open. Her guard comes down. That's the moment when you stop being just another guy she talked to, and you become someone unforgettable. Because in the end, we don't fall in love with perfect people. We fall in love with the ones who see us clearly and stay. So ask her this, but don't ask it like a test. Ask it like an invitation to drop the armor and just be real for a second. Because the truth is, that's what she's been waiting for. Thanks for watching. If you found these questions helpful, hit that like button and share this video with a friend who needs to hear this. And if you want to keep leveling up your confidence and connection skills, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Drop a comment below with which question you're going to try first. I love hearing your stories and experiences. Remember, it's not about tricks or pressure. It's about presence, calm confidence, and asking the right questions that make her feel something real. I'll see you in the next video.